guys, welcome back. It's Bushcraft Family once more. And like I said on the other video that I was going to put out, some things that we'll be running out of this year. There'll be a lot of shortages. You won't see as much of it on the shelves, or the price is just going to be so much that you're not going to be able to afford it. And a lot of this will surprise you, and some of this is quite alarming. So might think about, our gardeners out there might want to think about a way to I'll explain it later. Anyways, let's get along with the list here. And it's not from good to bad or anything like that, just a list. Our first one is bread. Right now, if there's like a holiday or something, bread is gone for 2-3 days, 4 days or longer. They just can't keep up with the demand of bread. Reason that being, the Ukraine, the Russia thing, the 2020 issues are still here, keeping this a shortage. And this coming year, it's going to be tough with bread. And the reasoning behind bread we'll talk about here in a little bit. But our next one is cooking oil. And again, the main ingredient in cooking oil is a lot of nuts and grains and corn and things like that. So cooking oil is one of those things. Unfortunately, there are good alternatives, but people think that they're very unhealthy and whatnot. I always have bacon grease, and I'm sure a lot of people out there that's listening to this also do the bacon grease thing. It lasts quite a bit. Just store it on your shelf or whatnot, and you got a flavorful oil to use whenever you need it. Now, there are two other alternatives. Lard, which is pig's fat, and tallow, which is beef, which, you can make tallow out of various different animals, but majority of it's beef. Those are great alternatives, and they're a lot better for you than cooking oils that are out there. Do you realize the majority of the cooking oils that you do use, if they go above a certain temperature, it creates it turns into a toxic compound, and a lot of people eat that. Do some research. Anyways, might be time to start thinking of those alternative ways to, fry up your fries and whatnot. Our next one is rice. Yes, rice. A lot of countries are going to stop exporting rice because their countries are starving. China is on the verge of starvation right now. Believe it or not, you won't hear this, but unless you're rich over there, rice is expensive and hard to come by at the moment. India is producing it. They're going to start keeping it for themselves. So, we grow a lot of rice here, but we export a lot of rice because we're one of the only countries that will export rice that has the husk and everything on it, because we can sell it for more down in South America. If we was to stop that and produce it for our own people, we would have quite a bit of rice, and probably be a lot cheaper than what it would be for importing rice here. Our next one is wheat, and you kind of get the gist of where I'm going with this. We've got bread, cooking oil, which is made by grains and stuff. We got rice, now wheat, and our next one is going to be corn. So you kind of get the gist of where we're going with this. Right now, there is a major grain shortage worldwide. This is the year that we run out. The world runs out of grain, and it's very, very documented. You can do your search for it. You can do research or however you want. You want to use AI to figure it out or whatnot. We are sitting at a major grain shortage. The world, and being part of the world, we're going to see those shortages. Anything that has to do with grain is going to be impacted. And pretty much this whole list is because of that. Again, with the corn, a lot of corn that we grow in the United States gets turned into ethanol. Gas is gas. We got to have them things for the cars and whatnot. We have plenty of land here that grows it that would be great for our tables in our cornbread and things like that. And not to mention for our livestock and farm animals and stuff. Anyways, our next one, and a little alarming with this one, but baby formula. I've talked about this over many years about the issues with baby formula and whatnot. Well, we're sitting at a crossroad here where formula is very scarce at the moment. So those who are expecting or new babies and stuff like that might want to start thinking ahead of time about this, or alternative ways. Goat milk is wonderful. There's other alternatives. I'm not going to go through all of them, but anyways, our next one on the list is eggs. You said, well, eggs has went down, which they did. They have went down quite a bit since who was in office and whatnot, but they're still way up there. Imagine 4 years ago or 5 years ago what we were paying compared to now. And not to mention the flu thing with the birds and all that stuff. It takes quite a while. It's just not like you can hatch an egg and boom, that chicken's going to lay eggs in 30 days. No, it takes some time. And that can cause issues. Our next one on the list is beef. There's going to be beef shortages, and the reasoning behind is because of this list. What do you feed these cows? And it's because, and these are cows that are not free ranged on your property or something. These are where you get your meat from the grocery store. They are force fed a bunch of grain and stuff to fatten them up as fast as possible, and conveyor belt type thing. And that being said, we're going to see shortages because of farmers are not going to be able to mass produce this beef because of the shortages. It's going to take longer for these cows to get through the conveyor belt of ground beef or whatever it is. So we're going to start seeing less and less, or very high prices, which I've already said that. So be warned about this. Our next one is sugar, of all things. Sugar, yes. Again, I talked about the price of sugar going up on the other video. We produce a lot of sugar here, but we also export it because we get more money for it other places and whatnot. Other countries are, the tariff thing. Oh, it's too expensive. We're going to charge you this much more and that much more. So the price is going up. And if we decide not to accept, the imports from other countries, here in the United States, sugar is going to get quite expensive. And hopefully that we can work something out to where we can do this stuff at home. And our last one on the list is canned pet food. Yeah, there are some bits of meat in there, but it's a lot of veggies and a lot of grain that's in pet food these days. So in that perspective, it's going to get scarce on the shelf. Not to mention aluminum, the price of aluminum going way up, the shortage of aluminum, that kind of thing. But let's go on to the cereal, the grains and stuff like that. We're likely to see more empty grocery store shelves and more food inflation by the end of this summer. The UN predicts that cereal and corn grain will start running out next year. Imported goods, particularly those coming from China, Europe, will likely continue to see supply chain issues. As bad as things may get here, we're likely to see worse problems in other nations. China is already holding a lot of their grain, their rice, to feed their own country because they're starving over there. Even though you're not going to see it, there are a lot of true reports that come out that shows how bad it is. Same thing in a lot of the Asian countries. They're going to start holding on to their rice. There'll be some that's going to be exported because the rich people want that money. Same thing in India. A lot of the India grain and rice are going to be not going to be exported anymore. So those things we need to start thinking about. Now you need to start thinking about what to start prepping. And I'll have another video on that here in the near future. So hang tight and we'll catch you on the next video. Like always, God bless.